Okay, dude, in this video, I want to show you how I would scale an online coaching offer to £30,000 or dollars per month if I was starting from scratch. And I want to make this abundantly clear. I've done this several times over now in multiple niches. And currently I'm running a coaching business called Remote Pro, where essentially I help online coaches to scale their business, focusing on three core elements. And I'm going to show you what those three core elements are in this video. So knowing everything that I know today, here is exactly what I would do step by step. Now, before we get stuck into this, I want to make something really, really clear. The way that I see it is that there are only really three core elements of any online coaching business. We have Entice. Okay, so Entice is how you attract clients to want to come and work with you. This is your lead generation system. Secondly, we have Enrol. This is your sales system. How are you converting those leads into paying customers and clients? And then finally, and most importantly, empower. Now that you have those customers and clients, how are you delivering your service to them so that A, they get the result they came for, and B, you can deliver it at scale to hundreds of clients? Okay. When you understand this is your entire business, right? You will only ever have constraints in one of these three areas. You fix the constraint, you scale, you run into a new constraint, you fix it, you scale. And that's kind of how you ladder up scaling a coaching business to 30K a month, 50K a month, 100K per month. Okay. So without further ado, the first thing that we need to do is look at the first system that needs to be created, which in this instance is your lead generation system. Okay. And we want to create it in such a way that you can predictably bring in perfect future clients into your client ecosystem every single week. This is the Entice system. Okay. So let's just imagine that this is your potential client. Her name's Sally. She wants to achieve a goal, but she is constantly bombarded by hundreds of coaches every single day preaching the same thing. Okay, so she's got lots of choice, and that's basically what's happening on social media right now. In and amongst all of the other stuff that's happening with AI generated content, I've made tons of videos on this. You also have your competitors, right, who are saying the same thing as each other in the same way. And so Sally, bless her, is bombarded by choice. Now, if she's going to choose you over them, then really you need to sell her on three things. The first thing that you need to sell her on is you as an individual. You know, the way that you show up, the way that you lead yourself, the way that you lead your clients. This is your personal brand. Okay. People need to buy into you before they buy your services. The second thing that you need to sell her on is your results. Okay. People care about the likelihood of them actually getting the result that they come to you for in the first place. So showcasing this on a regular basis is really, really key. And the third and final thing, and this is the one that coaches miss the most, is you need to sell her on your methods, okay? The way that you actually deliver your coaching. It's not just the results you get, it's the way that you deliver results for your clients. So a classic example of this in my niche, which is business coaching, is, you know, some business coaches teach their clients to do cold DMs. And I am completely against that. I hate cold DMing strangers, right? And maybe you feel the same. So there might be another business coach who's getting the same, similar, or even better results than me with their clients. But if the method doesn't align with the client, then they won't check out. Okay. They won't purchase from that person. So it's really important that we display your methods. So these are the three things that we're ultimately trying to sell your clients on. So now that we know that, let's look at what your organic content buckets look like, because you need to create organic content alongside paid content, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. Now, 10% of your content is going to be personal branding. Okay. So that's going to cover the you piece of, you know, what you need to sell Sally on, essentially. 60 to 70% of your content should be on your methods. Okay. So this is how you actually get results for people. It's not just, you know, showing social proof or adding value. It's actually showcasing how you get results for people, giving an insight into your unique methods for getting results. And then finally, 20 to 30% of your content wants to be your results. So these are your own transformations, they're your client transformations. They're the things that basically demonstrate to your audience that you can do what you say you do. And basically we feed all of that content into what I like to call a client ecosystem. So this is essentially a content flywheel. But what we're trying to do here is magnetically attract qualified leads to move deeper into your client ecosystem with relevant lead magnets. Okay, so I'm making organic content following this bucket approach. I've got these 3 types of buckets for my content, and then I'm moving those leads into my ecosystem with relevant lead magnets. So in this day and age, it is not organic versus paid ads anymore. It is both. Okay. So we throw coal on the lead generation fire by running what I call growth tax ads. And this is how we bring qualified leads in every single day. These are essentially profile visit ads that specifically speak to my perfect future clients, get them to join my Instagram page, and then they're going to be nurtured by this content. Okay. And just a little bit of a quote here from this marketing legend, Sabri Subi: paid ads feed the organic machine. And when you understand that, you start to realize that it's not, should I do organic or should I do paid? You really understand that you need to do both. So the second thing that we need to do, step 2, we looked at the lead generation system there. Now we're going to look at a lead nurturing system that warms up your leads while you sleep and makes you sales without needing sales calls. So this is the Enrol piece of this kind of 3-step system that we were kind of alluding to earlier in the video. So how do we do this? How do we nurture these leads on autopilot and have them, basically check out like it's Amazon Prime? No sales calls. You send a really simple document or a landing page and people go, yep, I'm in, and they pay. Okay, so let's look at this. First, let's get clear on how most coaches sell. And maybe you resonate with this, but most coaches try to take someone from having, just consumed some of your content to investing thousands of dollars into a high ticket offer. Okay. And you've got to remember, right, that most of your leads are cold. They don't really know who you are, what you're about. They don't really trust you, especially because market skepticism is really high right now. Okay. Trust is at an all-time low. There are lots of shady characters and bad players in the market making outlandish claims and promises that they can achieve XYZ with their clients in ridiculous timeframes, and they're burning their clients. And then those clients are going back into the marketplace with increased levels of skepticism, and you're trying to sell them a high ticket program straight out of the gate. And you're just like, I beg you pay me 5K, fam. And Sally's just like, there is no way that I'm doing that. Okay. So it's a bad approach to selling your high ticket coaching program. So here is how I and my clients do it instead. We take our leads and our prospects on a highly curated journey that positions you as the most obvious solution to their problems. So we take these cold leads and we move them into and opt into our 6-part mini series that brings them up to speed and adds heaps of value. And then from there, they start watching weekly YouTube videos. And I do this by sending those weekly YouTube videos like this one out to my mailing list, into my school community. They potentially sign up to my micro offer, okay, which is essentially a condensed version of my core program over a much shorter time frame, so that I can demonstrate first how I can help people before trying to sell them something high ticket. And then I upgrade them from my lower paying customer into a full paying client. Okay. And look, just to give you some context here, Harry put a message into our Slack community the other day. He basically started a brand new Instagram page, used the client ecosystem strategy step by step in its entirety, and he landed his first high ticket coaching client after just 13 days using the ecosystem. So it works really, really well. And then we've also got James here signing up his first client from the email element of his ecosystem, had never done it previously, and getting high ticket clients. So this stuff is phenomenally powerful. So what is reciprocity equity? I want to make this really clear, because when you understand this principle of reciprocity equity, you start to recognize how this feeds back into the way that you market yourself. So by adding an extreme amount of value on the front end, we can make larger cash withdrawals from your ecosystem on the back end. So for every 10 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, 150 minutes plus that you allow your prospects and your leads to consume valuable content from you, the higher the withdrawal of cash that you can make for your business. Now, the problem is that most coaches, most online coaches are just posting short form content each week. And when you just post short form content each week, you might have upwards of 10 minutes of value that your leads and prospects can consume from you. So the cash withdrawal is going to be much smaller, right? So by creating highly curated, really useful information in a long form format like this video, you're giving your prospects more time to spend with you, and ultimately you can make larger cash withdrawals for your business. Okay. So one question that I get quite a lot is about sales cadence. And actually, before we get into sales cadence, I've just been reminded here, I want to show you this clip of Alex Hormozy talking about the trust crisis. I'm going to get Luke to pop this clip up for you because he explains really well why adding value on the front end is really critical in today's market.
People could just like hop on and then just promise all sorts of things, and then people would hand their life savings over to them, and that happens to enough people, and then bad reputations start happening in general. And first it starts, you have bad actors, but then with enough bad actors, the industry gets a bad reputation. And so you start at -10 when you come in because everyone just assumes that you suck. And so you have to just like completely anchor on the other side, which is like, how do I be absolutely honest? How do I be absolutely upfront? How do I absolutely substantiate whatever I have? Creating content, building a brand, providing value ahead of time. That's like the direct response stuff works just under the context of I've already provided value to you. Because direct response, if you think about like what the term is, like direct response, you're asking them to do something. So it's just saying like, hey, soliciting people to do stuff doesn't work anymore. It's like, no, I mean, soliciting people to do stuff when you've never done anything for them doesn't work as well anymore. But if you do stuff for them first and then you directly solicit a response, it for sure works.
Cool. So coming back to sales cadence, this is the exact sales schedule that I adhere to basically turn my leads in my ecosystem into customers and then clients every single month. Now, what I'm going to do, this looks like just a load of nonsense to you right now, but it basically shows you what I'm doing on each day of the month. Am I posting short form value? Am I doing a direct CTA on stories? Am I doing social proof? Am I doing long form content? It basically maps out my entire monthly cadence that I adhere to for my business. What I'll do is I'll put a copy of this in my free school community, which is linked below in the description. If you just click the link, join the school community, you'll find it in there and you can copy this for yourself. I'll also attach a video explaining how to use it. And the reason that we follow this cadence plan is basically we want to follow the give-ask ratio. So you might remember Gary Vaynerchuk had the famous kind of quote of jab, 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 hook. And what he was referring to was you give, you give, you give, you give, and then you make an ask. Okay. And it's similar to what Alex Hormozy was talking about in the clip above. You basically, if you want your direct response marketing to work effectively, you need to give an extreme amount of value on the front end first, especially in today's market. So my general rule of thumb is to deposit 6 pieces of extreme value at least for every one ask. So a 6-to-1 give to ask ratio. Now, I personally have the doors open and closed to create a level of urgency for my leads. And I also limit the spaces to create scarcity. So it's not the fake kind. You'll see a lot of coaches, they'll post free spaces only, but we all know that they're taking on as many clients as they possibly can. I physically showcase on my social media the clients that I'm signing up and who's joining the program to add credibility and basically showcase that I'm not lying about how many spaces there are. And I think that's really important to build trust with your leads. And this is really based on the Rolex model. If you think about how Rolex as an operator goes about its business, if you don't know, you basically can't walk into a Rolex store and grab yourself a watch at retail price. Okay, you just can't do that, which is very, very sad because I'm a big Rolex fan. You basically put your name on a list with the authorized dealer and they make you wait. And then one day, they give you a call. And that day might come a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line of waiting for this watch. But when you get that call, it increases your urgency, right? They give you the call. They say the watch that you're looking for is available. You've got 48 hours to come in and pay and collect it. And you bet your bottom dollar, everybody on that list is going in and collecting that watch. Not only that, but what they also do is they limit the amount of watches that they actually put into production each year to basically artificially inflate the value of their products by making them scarce. And we can replicate this model for our online coaching businesses by opening and closing the doors through certain periods of the year or certain periods of the month or quarter. And by also limiting the amount of clients that you work with when those doors are open. If you just say, we're open all the time, we can work with as many clients as imaginable, that does work. That is a business model that works. But if you want to create a premium, high-end, high-ticket, one-to-one coaching offer like I do, then this is the best way to get people off the fence quickly, in my opinion. So we've covered the Enrol part of the system. Like, what is the system to nurture leads and to basically have people check out on their own terms without sales calls. Now we need to create a client delivery system that gets world-class results for your clients without needing to delegate the coaching. And this is empower. Okay, so this is the third and final piece of this three-part system that we've been talking about today. And really, the goal is to create the simplest and most enjoyable path for your clients to achieve the results that they came to you for in the first place. And when you understand that, you can start to build your coaching program in such a way that is in line with your values, but is also going to be highly valuable for your clients, and ensures that they, like I say, get what they came for. So the way that I do this, I call it the one-to-one access stack approach. And for me, this is the GOAT level of delivery. It's honestly the best way that I've ever delivered a coaching program over the sort of 10 plus years that I've been doing this. Now, the big problem with most delivery models, I'm actually just going to get rid of that because I crossed that out. The big problem with most delivery models is that you work on a fixed communication schedule. And what it basically ends up happening is your clients, you end up speaking to clients who don't need your help in that moment and spending time and energy with them because the call has to be booked in once a month or once a week or whatever it is. And you end up neglecting the clients that need you right there and then in that moment. Okay. So you're spending energy in the wrong places and you're basically limiting the amount of people that you can support and help. The second big problem is you outsource delivery to a success coach or to a sub coach or somebody that you train up to deliver your service. And when they don't have your experience or your knowledge, it kind of dilutes the value of your program and it potentially tarnishes your brand. This is what I found in the past anecdotally going into coaching programs where I've been disappointed. I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to be handed off to somebody who doesn't have the same knowledge and experience and expertise as the founder of that business that I ultimately want to learn from. Now, sometimes it works out and other times you feel let down and disheartened and disengaged from the process when the person that you're dealing with doesn't have the level of experience that you're looking for, especially if the person that you're dealing with is, dare I say it, lower on a par than you are, right? It feels really, really strange, but this does happen, unfortunately. So the big idea with the one-to-one access stack approach is that it's big boys, big girls rules, right? The clients get the support that they need when they need it, but there is no fixed communication schedule. So you spend your focus and your energy helping the clients who need your help, not just having pointless conversations with people who scheduled on your diary for no reason. So for this to work, I do have soft touch points with my clients every week. They fill in a Monday wins form. They let me know what their struggles or their barriers for the weeks are. And I personally read all of those and respond to all of those every single week. Now, in terms of the Zoom calls, those get booked in as and when the clients need them. All of the other support happens on the weekly live masterclasses in a group setting or in our private one-to-one Slack channels for questions on a day-to-day basis. But realistically, I spend no more than sort of 3 to 4 hours a week serving my clients one-to-one. And that's with 100 clients currently in my community. So that gives you a bit of an idea as to how this works. So how do clients download your knowledge/strategy? We've got to educate our clients, right? When a client comes to you, they've got a specific set of challenges and problems, and they've got some aspirations and some goals that they want to achieve. And the best way for us to help them get to that place is by educating them, giving them a strategy, and giving them your knowledge and your expertise as a product. So the way that I do that is I have this drip-fed program where people can only move on to the next phase of the program once they've completed the previous, and they've proven to me that they've understood all of the material in the previous phase. So they fill in a short kind of pop quiz, a test. It's lighthearted, it's fun, it's not really serious, but it proves to me, and then we unlock the next phase for them. So we're not overwhelming the clients with a big database of videos, of library, of pre-recorded Zoom calls, because ultimately, again, your clients will disengage from the process. They'll find it overwhelming and they won't get anything done. So here's a message from Mariella just saying, this is amazing, that you're a legend for putting this together. It's so well organized. That's kind of how you want your clients feeling about going through your process. So the other thing that we deliver is weekly live masterclasses. And these are basically my way of keeping clients up to date with what's working best right now. And they also create a sense of community. A lot of people will tell you in the coaching space that your clients will come to you for the result, but they'll stay for the community. And I genuinely believe that to be true, especially in today's day and age where we're becoming more and more reclusive, self-isolated, we're working in our little home offices or whatever it might be, it is great to get around like-minded people, both in an online setting and an in-person setting. And these weekly live masterclasses create a third space for people to connect with similar like-minded individuals. So it's really, really important. Then we run our in-person events, and as I just said, in the digital age, nothing beats getting people together in real life. This is where massive unlocks and breakthroughs happen. This is where we held our last event, this beautiful manor home, absolutely incredible setting. We did 2 days, locked in a room, just really helping the clients unlock the next level for their business. And then finally, we do one-to-one meetups. So if the stars align and we're in the same city, you can guarantee that I'm going to meet my clients one-to-one and just help them work through things, answer questions, have a conversation, and just connect with people once again. I think that's really key. And then all of the additional support happens in our private Slack and with Zoom. Okay, so all of my clients basically have open access to me in a private Slack channel and the ability to book Zoom calls with me as and when they need them. We're all adults, right? None of my clients have used my time and booked in with me more than they need to. Nobody abuses this open access approach. I think one of the things that seems counterintuitive is giving your clients open access to book in with you. You feel like you're going to be bombarded. And the reality is that the opposite is true. I think when you remove the stress and the pressure of having to book in calls, your clients feel a sense of relief. It's like, okay, I know it's there if I need it and when I need it, but I don't feel compelled to have to book it in every month because I need to make progress. They understand this is big boys, big girls rules, and I just use the support as and when I need it. And it's been an absolute game changer for me. So guys, hopefully this video has been useful to show you the 3 systems that I use to scale any online coaching business to 30K a month and beyond. The Entice system, how we generate leads. The Enrol system, how we nurture those leads and sell to them without sales calls. And then of course, the Empower system, how we deliver results for our clients at scale without having to delegate to a sub-coach or anybody else for that matter. I will see you on the next video. There are free resources in the description for online coaches, and I'll catch you soon. Peace and love.